Hey guys, Adam Zappy here and welcome to another episode of manwiZe. Now today I'm going to talk about a few different things. Firstly is some changes that are coming to the channel, and the reason for that is I've been thinking a bit about how the videos have been coming across. And I realised one issue that I've had and something I've looked into in the past and I've noticed it really shows up in my videos is lack of charisma. Now, I believe charisma is something that can be learned. Yes, some people have it quite naturally, but it's something that can be improved on most definitely. So a big part of my issue has been not having the natural charismatic ways and then trying to be really serious on video and trying to get my point across. Whereas if I relax a little bit more, I still feel a bit tense now, and I've made quite a few videos, so I guess, you'd think it would be quite natural to me sitting in front of the camera by now, but it's still not. And I need to try and let go, not worry so much about how I'm coming across on camera. I'm actually moving around in some weird ways, you may have noticed, and that's okay. I'm not going to try and cut that out and reshoot it. I'm just going to go with it. So how can I, and you, if you need to, improve your charisma? There's lots of videos out there. There's some guys that I'm going to, one particular guy who does some great videos on charisma, and I'm going to put a link to his channel down below. It's Charisma on Command, and another guy actually as well from the Charisma Matrix. Now, both of those guys have got some great videos, but just watching them won't help. You actually need to stop and realize what it is that you're doing and why you're doing the things you're doing. Just having the answers without realizing everything in your background that's caused you to be the way you are, just having those answers is not enough. You need to be able to put those into action, and a lot of people can't do that immediately. So if you're struggling with that, like I am, you need to look a bit further into it. Now, one situation I can think of that a friend of mine was telling me about just the other day, where I can see this, is when I go out to a bar or a club. My friend mentioned that I look like I'm not having a good time. Now, I'm actually having a really good time when I'm out, so it's something I've had people say to me as well. I've had people walk up to me and tell me to smile or say, oh, you don't look like you're very happy. And I know from talking to other people who are a bit like myself, they have this happen to them as well. Now, it kind of puts you in a, not really a bad mood, but it brings your mood down when you're having a good time and people say, hey, you don't look like you're having any fun, or whatever it may be. So if that happens, you need to, instead of being upset about them saying it, maybe have a look into why people are saying this about you. If you know you're not really in a bad mood, or you are having a good time in these situations, you need to think about why you're expressing something different. And I've just thought about this a bit myself recently, and I realized the big reason for it, with me anyway, is I wasn't really being fully in the moment. I've still got that kind of anxiousness that I'm thinking someone's looking at me or judging me or whatever it may be. And I'm in my mind thinking about this stuff rather than just relaxing into the moment and enjoying it. And by doing this, my expression isn't matching how I'm feeling about the situation fully, because I'm not fully engaged with what I'm doing. I'm still in my mind thinking about things, and this is all ego-based, and this is something else I want to talk about. Now, I've just put a 3-part series out on ego, and I've got to be honest with you all, I'm not really very happy with it. And that's one of the reasons for the big changes in this channel. Now, what are these changes? Well, that series in particular made me realize I don't need to be putting out content where I'm talking about something where other people have covered it many times and much better than I probably can, because I'm not the best at sitting in front of a camera and talking about something like a teacher would and explaining it. I know in my head, and I'm actually quite good at writing it down, and that's why a lot of the stuff I've said to you guys in the past is based on my notes. Now, I can't quite get it down, or get it out, sorry, the same way I can write it in note form. So what I'm doing instead is I'm going to concentrate on putting that stuff into the books that I'm writing. Now, because of this, I'm going to instead, when I have things like that to talk about, I'm going to start discussing what it is. So to use the same example, ego, I'm going to give you some sources that I've found really useful, and I'll just give a bit of a brief overview rather than attempting to put it into detail. And I think that's a much better way. That way you can go off if you want and look into it, which I do encourage you to do. But if not, well, I'm not wasting your time talking about something in a way that's not really expressing it in the detail I'd like. I mean, you could wait for my books to come out, but they're a long way off at this stage. Still just putting notes together, and yeah, long way off. So that's another thing I'm going to be changing is, well, that's the thing I'm going to be changing. Making videos about slightly different things. So a few ideas I've got, and if you have any in particular that stand out that you want to see, let me know in the comments down below. But I'm thinking about doing some stuff on clothing and fashion. I'm going to keep that to a minimum, and I'm only going to focus on sort of essential items rather than making this channel into a full fashion type channel, because that's not what I'm about. But I think it'll be good. There's a lot of guys out there that are really poorly dressed, and they wonder why people treat them the way they do, why women look at them funny, all sorts of stuff. So that's one of the things. Now, another I'm going to do, and again, this comes back to the ego situation that's made me think of this. I was watching a video by Alan Watts. Now, his work really has inspired me a lot, even though he's, as far as I'm aware, been passed away for many years now. A lot of his old recordings are on video, and what I'm planning on doing, rather than posting directly about them on this channel and just sharing his videos there, over on the manwiZe Facebook page, I'm going to have a weekly post, and I think I'll call it Weekly Watts, and I'll post one of his videos. And I'm thinking about putting a Facebook Live video up as well, where you guys can talk about these Alan Watts videos with me. I'll discuss the points out of the video that I post that week that I find most interesting, and I'll expand on them and talk about them from my point of view. And you guys can send in questions live as I'm talking, and I'll answer them as we go along. And also, if you missed the live version, you can still watch the videos and respond, and I'll get back in the comments as well. Now, on this main channel, what I'm planning on doing is a few changes. I'm still going to maintain the channel. In fact, I really want to put out more videos. I'm going to start talking about stuff more directly from myself, like I said, rather than regurgitating information that's already out there. I'm going to be talking about my perspective on these things, how I see them, why I believe the way I see them is not necessarily right, but I guess it's more just a way to get people to look at things from a different perspective. And sometimes people will look at it that way and go, that makes no sense to me, and that's fine. I'd love to hear why. So I want to really get things more interactive, give more useful stuff for you guys to think about, and also to make things more interesting so that you guys will engage more with things, and I'll get my message out there in a much more interesting way. So I noticed as I was talking just now, I started to free up. I just started talking as though I was talking to somebody. Now, let me know also in the comments down below if you noticed that change from the start of this video till now, because I'd really be keen to know if by loosening up it makes things more interesting and it makes it easier to watch me talking on these videos. I know I'm still not 100% and I'm still probably looking a bit nervous, a bit uncomfortable, and my tonality is probably not perfect. All that sort of stuff. Anyway, I'll leave you to it for now. I've got lots coming up. I'll be posting the first of the weekly What's videos probably tonight or tomorrow, and I'll organise a schedule for the first Facebook Live, and you guys can interact directly with me there. Until then, if you've enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a like, subscribe down below. Any comments, like I said, leave them down below as well, and I'll catch you guys in the next video really soon.